Player 2 has joined the game.
It's that time of the week, Sean.
It is that time of the week.
It's time to play the
And it's the back of the box
challenge. If you're not familiar with the Back of the Box challenge, if this is the first time you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on podcast services all around the world, each week we come to you, we do the two-player co-op podcast. We end that podcast with a little game that we've come up with called the Back of the Box challenge. We were inspired by Game Scoop, their 20 questions, all that different kind of stuff. And we came up with the Back of the Box challenge. What this is, each player of the two-player co-op podcast, we look up an old game. We look at the back of the retail box. We read the summary of said game to the other player. We bleep out any pertinent information to make sure it's not so obvious that it just gives the game away. The other player gets to ask, 5 or so questions. We're not very strict. And they try to guess what the game is. That is the Back to the Box challenge. And that is what we're going to do now. And I read first this time.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Let me find the game. Ready?
Ready.
Trouble brews when blank the witch captures the unbearably beautiful cub, blank. But before the grisly hag can steal the blank's good looks, Big Brother blank and his fine feathered friend blank join forces to stop her. Can I stop?
Is it Banjo-Kazooie? For some reason, as soon as you said witch, I thought of that game.
Really?
Yeah, because I couldn't think. I'm sure I could think. There's the twin Rova and Zelda. There's been witches in games before, but that was the first one that popped into my mind. Was it Kazooie or Tooie?
It was the first one.
Okay. That's a world record. Except when you got
I got it when you said
Double
Mary
Dragon.
and I got Double
Yeah.
Dragon. Yeah.
Boom. Out of the park.
I feel like I want to do another one. I'll save this one for next week.
Okay. Are you ready?
Hold on, let me just look at the back of this box real quick here. Find the right system. And... oh, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I'll do that one next week. Okay.
Okay.
It's going to be a short segment.
Okay. Okay. 1947. I almost don't even want to say that, except I already did.
You said it.
The Nazis have been crushed. The Cold War has begun, and Soviet agents are sniffing around an ancient ruin. Grab your blank, join blank, in a globe-spanning race to unearth the mysterious blank.
Secret of Mana.
That's it.
That's it?
No, there's some other little things that I can read. Travel the world to exotic locales, from the ruins of Babylon to Egyptian deserts. Yeah, they spelled that right.
Desserts?
Yeah, but they put deserts.
Okay.
I had to think about it for a second. All the weapons you'll need, including firearms and explosives. Survive the challenges of unusual beasts, half the Red Army, and more. Puzzle your way through 17 chapters of action-packed story. And that's it.
Was this a PS3 game?
No.
Sounded like it could have been Resistance. But I couldn't remember when that took place. So 1947, World War II era, Soviets, spies, guns. Whew, doggy. Is this a 16-bit game?
It is not.
Is it an 8-bit game?
It is not.
Is it a 32-bit game?
It is not a 32-bit game. I think you're out of questions.
Is it a 64-bit game?
It is. But so I was reading this from a 64-bit console box. But I won't speak for you, but when I think of this game, I don't think of it on this system, but this is just the box that popped up when I looked for it.
$64-bit game. World War II. It's a Nintendo 64 game But that's not where you think of it being.
That's not where I think of it being.
What is the perspective of this game?
Over the shoulder. Yeah.
Winback wasn't back then. Over the shoulder, not first person. Is this part of a series?
I would say no. This is not the only game from this franchise, but it's not like this is just a sequel. You know, this is kind of a standalone game. Actually, I may be wrong about that. Let me look into that. But keep thinking.
By the way, this is Two-Player Co-op Podcast. We come to you weekly to talk about the world of video games. From the NES to the PS4, we've got you guys covered. Like, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, share, down here somewhere. Thank you. If you're listening to this on podcast services, thank you. Spread the word, download, review us, spread the love. We really appreciate it. Can you stop looking at the camera and figure out my question?
I'm looking down.
Because you're killing my... So it's a 64-bit
So
game.
I guess, I mean, there's probably... To me, this is the one that stands out the most. But I guess there were other ones that came after this that I think were similar gameplay style.
There's one game I'm thinking of, but I don't even know. Like, no, Red Faction wasn't on the N64.
That was a good game.
It was, right? It didn't spin off of Command and Conquer, did it? Or did it?
No, it was totally separate.
It was?
It was a first-person shooter, but you could, like... The big thing in that was you could... There's a lot of, what do you call it?
Environmental destruction?
Yeah, you could, like, just shoot a rocket launcher at a wall and blow... Like, you could blow up everything, pretty much. You just... If I was here and I wanted to get over there, but it was like wall, I just shoot rockets through them and go right through. That was pretty cool. And I don't even like first-person shooters, but that game was cool.
Is this a well-known game? Like, am I going to kick myself for
It's
not
a
knowing
well-known series. I think it's a fairly well... I mean, I don't know how well-known the game is, but you will know... I mean, you know the game, and everybody knows the series.
I'm at a loss.
What's your usual... You have a go-to question you haven't asked yet.
Is it made by X? Is it a first-party? It's not a first-party game. Because it's come out on... You associate it with being on another system. Which
Right.
probably means PC.
But there's another question you usually ask. I remember the question.
You didn't even know it when you were saying that?
I knew what the answer was. I couldn't remember the question. I couldn't remember how you ask it. I can give you a clue and give you a good question to ask.
Okay.
Is it a licensed game?
Is it a licensed game?
It is. Wait.
Pre-existing property before this game was made.
So, yes, it's licensed. It is not... This is not... When you hear of this, you don't think of a
Video
game.
games.
You think of a movie. Or a series of... Oh. That was a big hint.
What?
That was a big hint.
You're eating the microphone. A series is a big hint? Or the movie is the big hint?
Yeah.
It's like friggin' The Rocketeer or something?
No, I said a series of movies.
GoldenEye didn't come out on anything else, right? Is it GoldenEye?
No, it's not
Okay,
GoldenEye.
I was going to say, I was like, there's no way it's GoldenEye. GoldenEye wasn't set that far back.
No.
Oh, never mind. You said it wasn't first person. Sorry.
Over the shoulder.
Third person, over the shoulder, shooter.
And there's nothing that I really bleeped out that I can give now that won't give it away. So
This is riveting. So it's a movie, 1947. I mean, is it like a cartoon style?
Nope.
No.
I feel like now you will kick yourself because, I mean, you know everything you need to know.
I know it came out on the N64, and it's a shooter based in 1947. That there was movies also.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why you say it's a shooter. I mean, yeah, there's guns in the game, but...
Yeah, because you said you shoot and you get firearms and all that stuff. Wait, this isn't like an alternate history thing. No, because it talked about World War II.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't know, man.
Think of movies with Nazis. At least one movie had Nazis.
Like, I don't know. Saving Private Ryan, the N64 edition?
No. All right.
It's not a Wolfenstein game.
It is not Wolfenstein.
And that's first person also.
What can I say that won't give it away? I think it's been confirmed that there's a new movie coming out. I don't know when, but it's in production.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's Indiana Jones.
And
Temple of the crappy game. I don't know.
No, I had this game on PC.
Young Indiana Jones?
No, Indiana Jones.
Why do I always think that game was Young Indiana Jones?
I don't know, but it was Indiana Jones.
The Temple of Lost Dreams. I don't know.
The blank...
I'm never going to get the actual name.
The blank Indiana Jones and the blank machine.
The Big Machine? That's a Goo Goo Dolls song.
The Infernal Machine.
Oh.
Wow. You remember the game, though, right?
I remember the game.
Okay.
That sucked.
So, shout out to Brent, if you're watching, which I think you are, because you started watching our videos the other day. Nope, that was earlier today. He was asking me about Uncharted and asking if he would like it. I said, yeah, you probably would.
Yeah, you should say, well, I don't know because I've only played 2.
Yeah. And so he said, I bought 1, 2, and 3 for $15 at GameStop today.
Wow.
Does he mean each or total?
Probably total. Probably the PS3 versions.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's a really good deal. But he asked if it was similar to this Indiana Jones game, like the gameplay. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's actually very similar.
See,
to that.
I remember you playing the hell out of that game, but I don't remember much
It's
about
a much more slower paced version of Uncharted. I mean, but Uncharted is basically Indiana
Uncharted
Jones.
slows down at some points. But yeah,
it's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, the gameplay is, I mean, it's much more rigid. Like I remember, like you can stand and you can turn and you gotta like get yourself. You want to make this jump. You gotta get lined up perfectly.
Well, and that's
then
how
you run and jump.
That's how 3D games were back then too.
Right,
they definitely didn't control like they do now.
Right. But yeah, so shout out to Brent. He gave me a good idea for the Back to the Box challenge.
You stumped the hell out of me, and he got Banjo-Kazooie in like one sentence. Thanks.
Remember when Brent pinned you when you tried to powerbomb him? And then...
That was all. I was doing it like wrestling. We had a stupid wrestling league when we were kids, and it was kayfabe, so I picked him up to do a powerbomb. And you know how sometimes if you pick up a powerbomb and you fall
his leg
back,
gave out,
right? And he fell down on me and he pinned me.
Pinned him and won
and
the title.
He acted like he actually really just like won the WWE championship or something.
God.
So, thanks, Brent. Thanks for that shout out. I mean that flashback. Shout out to Brent.
No problem.
This has been episode 32. We didn't even say.
I mean, there's an obvious one.
Magic.
Oh, well, wait. The person?
Yeah.
I was thinking the team.
No, we don't speak of him.
Never mind.
We don't speak of him. No. Nope, because he wears 34 and he's a traitor.
Magic
Johnson
in the good
Edgerrin
old days.
James also.
In the good old days.
I know, but it's just so, it's too sad.
He was 32.
I can't even talk about it.
Shaq Fu.
Oh, I can't wait for the new one. It's going to be so bad. This has been episode 32 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. Thank you so much for watching / listening or just listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe below. Like, share, do all that kind of stuff. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. If you're listening to us, spread the word. We are on podcast services, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google, probably some others I can't remember. Basically, if you can listen to podcasts, you can find us on there. We thank everybody for being here. And like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, we'll see you guys either Thursday or Friday night with our review of Suicide Squad. And yeah, I guess that's it. So Sean, why don't you just take us out?
Thank you for playing.